Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And this time I'll be playing Portal 2 blind. Now, I've recently replayed Portal 1, and I've had Portal 2 for years now, but I've never played it except for a little bit in multiplayer. But from what I understand, the multiplayer scenarios are completely separate to the single player story. So in the single player story that I'm going to play now is going to be completely blind, and I am very eager to experience it because replaying Portal 1 has sort of reinvigorated my interest in this whole series. It was very enjoyable, but I also felt like Portal 1 was very much a proof of concept, a sort of like an extended tutorial. I feel like they were only, testing some of their ideas. So I'm very much interested to see to what fruition they come to in the sequel. And I am also interested in how they extend the story, especially when it comes to connections with the Half-Life universe, because there were some hints of that in the previous title, but only very slight. So I'm very eager to discover more. So I guess that's enough talking, and let's just go straight into the new game. So start from the beginning. Apparently the first chapter is called the Courtesy Call. Now, presumably, I assume all of them have names, but I just haven't discovered them, and maybe they would be a spoiler if you knew them from the beginning. So anyway, let's start.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 50 days. In compliance with state and federal regulations, all testing candidates in the Aperture Science Extended Relaxation Center must be revived periodically for a mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, look up at the ceiling.
So until proven otherwise, I will assume that I am again playing as Chell, the woman from Portal 1, and I'm assuming that because at the end of Portal 1 she was dragged back into the Aperture Science facility right after escaping from there, so I'm assuming this is some kind of a holding cell, maybe like a simulation or a stasis chamber. It was saying a second before that it has been 50 days since, 50 days in quote-unquote suspension, I believe that was the word used. This room looks very generic, so it wouldn't surprise me if this is indeed like a simulation of some sorts, just looking like an ordinary hotel room or something like that. So
good. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, look down at the floor. Good. This completes the gymnastic portion of your mandatory physical and mental wellness exercise. There is a framed painting on the wall. Please go stand in front of it. This is art. You will hear a buzzer. When you hear the buzzer, stare at the art. You should now feel mentally reinvigorated. If you suspect staring at art has not provided the required intellectual sustenance, reflect briefly on this classical music.
what was that sound? It was like a...
Good. Now please return to your bed.
There was like a weird sound for a second. Something bashing? A hard surface or something? I'm not sure. Apparently I can't open any of the doors, which again would totally make sense if this is just a simulation, because I would assume they are only simulating a single room. Well, so I guess that was like a tutorial portion. They just woke me up to teach me how to move in the game.
Good morning. You have been in suspension for 9999999. This courtesy call is to inform you that
Anyone
all
in
test
there?
subjects should vacate the enrichment
Hello?
center immediately. Any test subject
Are you
not emerging
gonna
from
open the
suspension
door
at this time
at any
will be
time?
assumed to have exercised his or her rights
Hello?
to remain in extended relaxation for the
Are you
duration
gonna open this
of the
door?
destruction of this
'Cause
facility.
it's
If you have
fairly
questions
urgent.
or concerns regarding this policy,
Oh, just open
Okay.
the door!
Spanish language
That's too
version
aggressive.
of this message. Feel
Hello,
free to take a
friend.
complimentary
Why
piece of
not open the
stationery from
door?
desk drawer in front of you and write us a letter.
Could
Good
be
luck.
Spanish. Could be Spanish. Hola, amigo. Abre la puerta. Donde está? No.
That's actually
Fine.
quite
No.
quite
Absolutely
hilarious.
fine. It's not like I don't have 10,000 other test subjects begging me to help them escape. It's not like this place is about to explode. All right, look. Okay, I'll be honest. You're the last test subject left, and if you don't help me, we're both gonna die. All right. I didn't want to say it. There you go. You've dragged it out of me. All right, dead. Dos muerte.
Okay, I'm not
Go
having
on.
much of
Hello?
an opportunity.
Hello?
Oh, damn it.
Open the door. Hello? Hello?
I'm not having much of an opportunity to comment
Go
on
on.
anything because
the
whoever
door.
this is getting quite
Hello?
annoyed at my inactivity.
Open the door.
First of all, he sounds kind of
Hello?
familiar, but I can't really place his name,
Hello?
and I'm really bad with actors, so I mostly
on.
don't recognize them anyway. But I'm pretty sure I've heard this guy
Hello?
in some like comedic flicks
Go on.
or something. And also,
Hello?
I guess it's clear now that it's
Open the
not
door.
actually not a simulation, because you can clearly
Hello?
see the passage of time by
Hello?
the disheveled state of this apartment,
Hello?
which is also another clue that
Hello?
a lot of time has passed, apart from the introductory statement which said that
Open the door.
I've been in suspension for like 90
Go on.
99999
Open the
days.
door.
It was like stuck or something, so
Hello?
I guess it could have been a year, could have been presumably
on.
more. I would say more, judging from the state of it.
Hello? Hello? Go on.
Well, okay.
Ah! Oh,
Whoa.
God. You look good. Looking good, actually. Are you okay? Are you... Don't answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it slow.
Please prepare for emergency evacuation.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Prepare. That's all it's saying. Prepare. It's all fine. All right? Don't move. I'm going to get us out of here. Oh, you might want to hang on to something. Word of advice. Up to you. All
So-
right, down there? Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay, as much as I am entertained by
Most
by
test
Whitley
subjects
here,
do experience some cognitive deterioration after a few months in suspension. Now, you've been under for quite a lot longer, and it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage. But don't be alarmed, all right? Although if you do feel alarmed, try to hold on to that feeling, because that is the proper reaction to being told that you've got brain damage. Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Does any of this make any sense? Just tell me. Just say yes.
as much as I am entertained by Whitley here, I'm also kind of annoyed because he's talking non-stop, which I guess maybe supposed to be part of his character, but it makes it hard for me to comment on what he's saying. And there's actually already a lot happening, at least to my mind, because first of all, this looks pretty much the same, or at least very similar to those cores that fell off of GLaDOS during the quote-unquote boss fight at the ending of Portal 1. Although I don't remember, because there were a couple of them, each had a different color, and each had a different voice, but I definitely don't remember this one being there in Portal 1, but it very much resembles the others in design, so I wonder if that's intentional, if I'm supposed to take it as a clue that this robot or whatever was once a part of GLaDOS or something. I'm very much interested to learn more about that. What else? I wanted to say something, but I already forgot because he's talking non-stop, so let's just...
Okay, what you're doing there is jumping. You just jumped. But never mind. Say apple. Apple.
Oh, let me guess. Yeah, I'm going to jump again, and then
Simple word. Apple.
and this
Just
he's
say
going to
apple. Classic. Very simple.
and then he's going to tooth.
Double P-L-E. Just say apple. Easy word, isn't it? Apple. How would you use it in a sentence? This apple's crunchy, you might say. And I'm not even asking you for the whole sentence, just the word apple. Okay, you know what? That's close enough. Just hold tight.
Oh, okay. So he actually
All
got
reactor
annoyed.
core safeguards are now non-functional. Please prepare for reactor core meltdown.
Actually got annoyed at my.
Okay, look, I wasn't going to mention this to you, but I'm in pretty hot water here. How you doing down there? You still holding on?
Okay,
Reserve power ran
so
out, so of course the whole relaxation centre stops waking up the bloody test subjects. Hold on, this is a bit tricky. And of course, nobody tells me anything. No, why should you tell me anything? Why should I be kept informed? You know, about the life functions of the 10,000 bloody test subjects I'm supposed to be in charge of. Why?
So-
It's close. Can you see? Am I going to make it through? Have I got enough space?
apparently,
Just gotta get through here. I just gotta concentrate. And whose fault do you think it's gonna be when the management comes down here and finds 10,000 flipping vegetables? Alright, see, no, I hit that one. Okay, listen, we should get our story straight, alright? If anyone asks, and no one's gonna ask, don't worry, but if anyone asks, tell them as far as you know, the last time you checked, everyone looked pretty much alive. Alright? Not dead. Okay, almost there. On the other side of that wall is one of the old testing tracks. There's a piece of equipment in there that we're gonna need to get out of here. I think this is a docking station. Get ready. Good news, that is not a docking station. So there's one mystery solved. I'm going to attempt a manual override on this wall. Could get a bit technical. Hold on. Almost there. Remember, you're looking for a gun that makes holes. Not bullet holes. But don't worry, you'll figure it out. Seriously, do hold on this time. There we go. Now, I'll be honest, you are probably in no fit state to run this particular type of cognitive gauntlet. But at least you're a good jumper. So you got that. You got the jumping on your side. Just do your best, and I'll meet you up ahead.
I remembered what I wanted to comment on, but I'm
All right,
expecting.
off you go.
Yeah, I'm expecting being cut off by him at any point, which is kind of
Go on,
annoying
just
to me.
March on through that hole.
Because I very much want to listen to him, especially because he has a lot of
Yeah,
different
it's all right. Go ahead.
different dialogue options for getting annoyed at you.
I know. I have painted quite a grim picture of your chances, but if you simply stand here, we will both surely die. So, once again, just move along. One small step and everything.
Okay, I'll wait for some other opportune
That's the
time
spirit.
to comment on what he was talking about and what was happening
Hello,
in the intro
and
there.
again, welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. We are currently experiencing technical difficulties due to circumstances of potentially apocalyptic significance beyond our control. However, thanks to emergency testing protocols, testing can continue. These pre-recorded messages will provide instructional and motivational support so that science can still be done, even in the event of environmental, social, economic, or structural collapse. The portal will open and emergency testing will begin in 3, 2, 1.
So this chamber here. Okay, yeah, so I guess we are still Shell, and I'm happy to see that her model actually looks a lot better. Maybe not a lot better, but noticeably better. And also the jumping animation is a lot more fluent. I remember mocking the jumping animation a little in Portal 1, but a couple of things to comment on here. First of all, this room very much resembles the first room in Portal 1, I think it was called a relaxation chamber or something, but it had a bed, and it was like a bed here, a toilet here, and there was also one of those radios. But also, I wanted to comment about the intro sequence. So apparently it was not a simulation, it was only like a room inside a cube of sorts. And Wheatley was talking about how there were hundreds or potentially thousands of people up there, but apparently we're one of the last ones, or at least that's what he said. And yeah, I just remembered what I wanted to say earlier. I really like how he's very expressive, even though he's basically a single eye. Like, he doesn't really have a face, he only has an eye and like mechanical eyelids. But they really did a good job of making him quote unquote emote using those simple features. You know, his eye moves, his head moves, and you really feel like he's a character, despite him being just this ball with a glowing eye. So enough talk for now. Let's go. So apparently there are 19 chambers. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we don't go through all of them and skip out of bounds at one point or another, because if we just proceeded through the facility in an orderly manner, first of all, it wouldn't really fit the disheveled state it's in, but also it would be very much similar to
Cube and
Portal 1.
button-based testing remains an important tool for science, even in a dire emergency. If cube and button-based testing caused this emergency, don't worry. The odds of this happening twice are very slim.
So I guess it's a returning mechanic from Portal 1, which I'm expecting a lot of.
The incandescent particle field across the exit. This aperture science material emancipation grill will vaporize any unauthorized equipment that passes through it.
So at least the elevators are different in this one. And the maps seem actually rather small, because obviously now I'm having a loading screen to transit into another section.
If you feel liquid running down your neck, relax, lie on your back, and apply immediate pressure to your temples. You are simply experiencing a rare reaction in which the material emancipation grill may have emancipated the ear tubes inside your head.
I remember a similar dialogue in Portal 1, where GLaDOS was talking about how the emancipation grill might, quote unquote, emancipate like dental fillings or your teeth in their entirety, which is actually quite horrifying when you think about it. So I guess again they have this introductory part where you don't really have the portal gun, you just utilize the portals that okay, there's a cube here. You just utilize the portals that are already there, and it's supposed to teach you like the basic concepts of what a portal is and how it works. And I understand it's necessary for new players, but I really hope it's shorter in this game than it was in Portal 1, and that it introduces me to some more complex puzzles quicker.
Because of the technical difficulties we are currently experiencing, your test environment is unsupervised. Before re-entering a relaxation vault at the conclusion of testing, please take a moment to write down the results of your test. An Aperture Science Reintegration Associate will revive you for an interview when society has been rebuilt.
Oh, apparently there's some sort of malfunction here. And there's a lot of those cubes, and I think it's a turret, right, or a camera. But I think it's a turret. Yeah, but what I was talking about, because to me, Portal 1 very much felt like an extended tutorial, like pretty much for more than half of the game, they were teaching you.
If the Earth is currently governed by a manner of animal king, sentient cloud, or other governing body that either refuses to or is incapable of listening to reason.
Animal King? What? Animal King takeover. But how is this? Oh, and they are worshipping it. How is this an Animal King? It's clearly a giant turret. It's only painted in this sort of, I don't know, cheetah camel pattern. But anyway, what baffles me is that they had the whole video recording for this kind of scenario, and they had a pre-recorded message for their announcement system for this kind of scenario, which I guess is supposed to either present the Aperture Science as covering all of their bases, or, which is the theory I would lead more into, is to present them as being more or less insane, even before GLaDOS took over. Like, this whole thing, it strikes me as something that no sane person would really do. Like, you would have to spend resources to develop this, and as funny as it is, like try to imagine, trying to convince your shareholders or the CEO of your company that you need to shell out a couple of $1,000s or whatever it would cost out of your budget to produce a PSA about an animal turret taking over the world. It even sounds spectacularly stupid when you say it.
Hey, you made it! There should be a portal device on that podium over there. I can't see it though. Maybe it fell off. Do you want to go and have a quick look? It's alright, no, go on, just have a look about. No, that's right, over by the podium, yeah.
It clearly isn't here.
If you just stand by the podium and just look up.
Now, I have this slight urge
that's it, yeah.
to stall everything just to listen to what he says. Because it seems there's a lot of dialogue that's not repeating, a lot of unique dialogue that he gets when you are apprehensive to do something. And right as I'm talking about it, he just stops, which is kind of ironic and annoying, I guess, because earlier, whenever I wanted to talk about something, he would talk non-stop, and now that I'm expecting him to talk non-stop, he's quiet, so it's it's weird. It's weird. Okay, I don't see the portal gun here, although there is some kind of a strange glitch with the floor texture here.
Hello? Can you see the portal gun? Also, are you alive? That's important. Should have asked that first. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on the assumption that you're still alive, and I'm just going to wait for you up ahead. I'll wait 1 hour, then I'll come back, and assuming I can locate your dead body, I'll bury you. All right? Brilliant. Go, team! See you in an hour, hopefully, if you're not dead.
Follow. So I wonder if, because in Portal 1 there were also messages scrolled on the walls, I wonder if it's by the same guy, or is it supposed to be a different character? Oh, and there's the portal gun. Whoa, okay, that's pretty weird. Because it seems there's some kind of a story like graffitied on the walls. So this obviously is GLaDOS, and I guess maybe this is chronicling like the rise of GLaDOS her turn to insanity, because here you have the scientists from Aperture Science, and here they are all panicking and presumably dying. So I guess this would be the part where GLaDOS went insane and killed them all. Now here you have Chell, the cake. So I guess this would depict like the events of Portal 1, which, like, I wonder who drew all this and how much time did actually pass between this moment and Portal 1. Like, I would assume, judging from the intro, it has been at least like a year, but maybe even more. What's here? Portal gun, Chell. Okay, I don't quite understand the significance of this particular drawing. This is just a portrait of Chell. It's all rather weird, I must say. So I guess again I'm just starting with the capacity to create one portal, and it's like an introductory segment, which is much similar to Portal 1, but again I hope it's going to be quicker with introducing new elements compared to Portal 1.
Some emergency testing may require prolonged interaction with lethal military androids. Rest assured that all lethal military androids have been taught to read and provided with one copy of the Laws of Robotics to share.
Because obviously by now I'm familiar with most of the main mechanics introduced in Portal 1, so there's no need to teach me all of them again. So what's the deal here? This is where I came from, obviously. Right, okay, I'm just stupid.
If you feel that a lethal military android has not respected your rights as detailed in the Laws of Robotics, please note it on your self-reporting form. A future Aperture Science Entitlement Associate will initiate the appropriate grievance filing paperwork.
This all very much strikes me as batshit, because I understand GLaDOS. GLaDOS went insane, and she was self-aware. So all of the things she was saying, I could buy it as part of her megalomaniacal personality. But this PSA system, from what I understand, it's not actually an AI, because they were talking in the beginning how this is pre-recorded, so they had to pre-record all of those pretty ridiculous statements, about how the military androids were taught the laws of robotics and you can file a grievance against them if they shoot you or something, which it is hilarious, but it's also weird. I'm not sure if I buy it, because it undermines the credibility of Aperture Science as a real company to me. I'm all for them dabbling in unethical experiments or whatnot, but I would like them to be somewhat reasonable in their approach. And this is the Animal King takeover service announcement. This doesn't really strike me as something that you can call reasonable. And there's actually a lot of loading screens, which I understand that this game is 7 years old by now.
This next test is very dangerous. To help you remain tranquil in the face of almost certain death, smooth jazz will be deployed in 3, 2, 1.
And I understand that at the time, the source engine, this version of the source engine, might have been quite heavy on the hardware, so it would have been reasonable to cut the levels into smaller chunks. Remember your evacuation training. Now this is totally reasonable, but actually I'm starting to develop a hypothesis. So what if the PSA voice is actually a cover for GLaDOS? Like, it would kind of make sense for me, because first, it would explain why it sounds so deranged, and second of all, obviously GLaDOS has to be part of this game. She's far too important for the franchise and far too iconic as a character not to return, but it's understandable for her to hide herself, like just because it was Chell that nearly or actually kind of destroyed her. Well, I guess nearly is a better word, because there was this whole song at the end about GLaDOS being still alive, so I guess she was never really truly destroyed, only partially destroyed. But it was Chell that destroyed GLaDOS, so it would totally make sense for GLaDOS to hide her true identity. And actually, if this prediction comes true in the end, I would be kind of pleased with myself. Okay, so still some rather simple concepts, and I still don't have the access to the orange portal.
Great work. Because this message is pre-recorded, any observations related to your performance are speculation on our part. Please disregard any undeserved compliments.
Again, they commented how this is pre-recorded, which actually starts to make me suspicious, and it would be kind of cool if I were right about this GLaDOS part. Okay, that's... for a second I thought I just broke the ceiling and was stuck here again, which would be both kind of cool, because you wouldn't expect that, but also kind of annoying, because then it would be rather difficult to fall out of this portal in such a way to land on the ledge here. So in a way I'm glad that there's a ramp. Can I get back here? Oh, I perhaps even should. So I guess this is the intended way, which automatically makes me interested in exploring this part here. And I guess it was totally worth it, because there's some graffiti on the wall. Unreason. What? I'm not sure if I get it. There's a cat, which I'm not sure what does that have to do with portals. But I guess in Half-Life 2 there was this whole story about Dr. Kleiner dismembering a cat by accident, by the cat walking into an imperfected teleport. And that Dr. Kleiner was researching, but I'm not sure if that's a reference to that. Also, this cat looks kind of like a robot, so also not sure what's that about. Velocity, something. I don't get any of those formulas, and I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to. Like, I would be really surprised if there was some hidden message in here, although I guess it would make sense, but I'm far too stupid to uncover all of those, and I'm not really sure if it's even worth the time. I'm not sure what's this all about, this unreason comment, and also not sure what that is. Some kind of a cube with, and this points to this, which there's nothing here, so again it's kind of confusing. But I guess this is actually a decent place to end the first episode. So yeah, so that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.